Hello and welcome to the Potty Mouth Preacher, transforming women's minds, bodies, and souls, one trigger at a time. I am Lisa Czak, your host, and today is going to be the best of the last year. You are going to get to see the last year of the Potty Mouth Preacher in review. I cannot wait. Stay tuned. As always, I'm going to start this by helping you shift gears. The holiday season is over. We are officially in 2024. Happy New Year. And let's face it, ladies, okay? The holidays fall on us, right? You might be feeling so burnt out after the holidays, right? After taking care of your families, your husband, your kids, providing Christmas, right? It's like on Christmas Eve, do you stand there and look at all the presents, or Christmas morning and say, I'd like to thank myself for all of this, for exhausting myself, for becoming a crazy person? Now, look, I even found myself this holiday season at one point screaming at my family. I'm literally on the toilet trying to poop, and one after another, they're knocking on the door. And I'm like, oh my God, can I just wipe my butt in privacy? I don't want to talk to you through the door as I'm wiping my butt. Right? Dropping comments if you feel me on this, right? Did you have any moments like that this holiday season? Let's be honest here. And it's because I was not taking care of myself. I was taking care of everyone else at the expense of my own health, my own well-being. So even I needed to check myself and follow my own advice. Practice what the Potty Mouth Preacher preaches. And we need that time. It's so important where we can let go of our roles as mother, wife, daughter, even friend, right? Sometimes employee, employer, all of these things. We balance a lot of things in our life. And if we don't take time to just be ourselves, like to that quiet time, just us and God, we become stark raving lunatics, right? We feel like we're losing our mind, which is why on every episode, I help you shift gears. This is so true. If you come home from work and boom, you shift right into mommy gear or right into wife gear, whatever it is, right? Or if you work from home like I do, I get out of Zoom and, if they come at me, I'm like, whoa, I need a minute here. I need a minute. So I want you to carry this forward in your life, giving yourself, it doesn't have to be that long, just a couple minutes of just being you. No one else. So go ahead and close your eyes. I know you need this after the holidays. And this is a great way to start your new year, right? Close your eyes if you're able to. Take 3 deep cleansing breaths, really allowing just your exhale. You're exhaling out all your roles and responsibilities that you're happy to play, but sometimes you just gotta be you. So exhaling out your roles and responsibilities as mother, wife, daughter, granddaughter, friend, aunt, employee, employer, student, stay-at-home mom, fill in the blank. Leave it all. Pretend like your device has a trap door on the back of it, and you're leaving all of your roles and responsibilities on the outside of your device. And I know you got things weighing heavy on your heart. New Year's, right? It's something weird happens and we think, oh, this is a fresh start. You kind of sometimes feel pressure, right? I gotta have resolutions. I gotta know what my goals are this year, right? So I know you got stuff weighing heavy on your heart. Maybe the holidays were disappointing to you. Maybe it wasn't, you had yourself all attached to an outcome of how Christmas should have been. could have been, would have been. And so leave those on the outside of this device also. All the anxiety, doubt, fear, overwhelm, frustration, anger, fill in the blank, whatever it is. Leave it on the outside of this device. You're not going to need it in here. And give me another deep cleansing breath in. Really let that shit out. Let it out, woman. You don't need it in there. And now we are moving on to celebrations. I have so much to celebrate as I sit here in 2024, looking back on the past year. I actually did it. I actually launched and followed through with a podcast every other week. Now, granted, I have a great producer helping me, Steve Demetrius from Soundbreaker Media. I don't know if I got that right, Steve, because I'm used to you at Steve at Audiobook Masters. Anyway, Steve, put your information up there. If you want to do a podcast, maybe you're thinking about it, or an audiobook, I can't recommend Steve enough for this. So I am celebrating that the little girl, little Lisa, never had a voice, right? Little Lisa was someone who never spoke up for herself, who was shushed all the time, right? Shh, shh, people are listening. People are watching you. People can hear you, right? I still get triggered to this day. I was at for King and Country concert with my daughter, a concert. And this bitch in front of me turned around like she was the exorcist, right? She spins around and shushes us. And like the loudest concert I've ever been to. But I kept calm because I know to not react. Anyway, so I'm celebrating that I finished season 1 of the Potty Mouth Preacher, and I allowed my voice to be heard for millions of people out, for the whole world to hear, right? That God gave me the words that he wanted me to say. The messages is that he wanted me to share with all of you. And now we are currently in production for season 2. I cannot wait to share with you what we are going to be doing in season 2. Season 2 it will not just change your life, it will literally save your life in every way. It will save your daughter's life in every way. So stay tuned. That's coming up soon. Cannot wait to share it with you. So stay tuned because we're going to give you a year in review of the Potty Mouth Preacher. But what I want you to do is leave all your labels on the outside of your device, right? Mother, wife, employee, employer, boss, CEO, stay-at-home mom, daughter, friend, whatever your labels are, leave them. Pretend like your device has like a trap door on the back of it, and you're literally going to open the door and dump all your shit out there, right? So that you can show up in here just as yourself. Because that's the main thing, right? Like you're not taking time just for you, to be with you and to be with God. Because I want you to train your brain to seek out all the little things that you can celebrate along the way of becoming the woman God created you to be, becoming the healthiest version of yourself. Right? While you are, this is part of the transformation of transforming your mind, body, and soul. If you don't start noticing the little things along the way, by the time you get to your destination, you're going to be like, oh, great. Well, I'm 30 pounds lighter. Now what? Right? Like you missed the whole journey. Let's get real for a second. You are not afraid of the future. You might think you're afraid, like you're anxious about the future, right? What you're really afraid of is the past repeating itself, of carrying all of that weight into the future. It all begins with your why. I was trying to lose weight on my own, But let's face it, you'll learn from me one thing. There's no such thing as trying. Either you are or you are not. And I was not losing weight. So I flailed about just like maybe you are, right? Trying every diet out there, going to all these challenges and gyms and programs, and just feeling worse inside and out. God warned us that we were going to suffer. It's not a surprise. He said, when darkness descends, when, not if, right? The devil himself will come to tempt you at your weakest point. You know this to be true. You've already experienced it. And at your strongest point to get you to abandon all of your weight loss efforts, all of your progress, so that you backslide to where you were and you continue on that boomerang of gaining and losing and gaining and losing, that cycle, right, that you've been caught in. Your why must be stronger than any temptation, stronger than the devil himself. I am. This is the theme of the show. I even wore a special shirt for you. I am. Whatever follows I am is coming looking for you. It's coming for you. If you walk around the world saying, I'm so exhausted, I'm just so exhausted, you're going to feel more exhausted. If you're sick and you're laying there, and you're like, I'm just so sick. I'm just so sick. I'm so sick. You feel more sick. So if you want to start attracting what you actually desire in your life, you must act as though you already are. You must act as though you already have it. When you speak of it, right? I am. I am in the best shape of my life. And then you're acting as though you already are. This is the number one key ingredient I use in my coaching programs, in my one-on-one sessions, literally any interaction I have. This is the foundation. First, it's why, finding your why. Then it's finding your I am. So just like how we discovered your why in episode 1, your I am also needs to be something that evokes emotion. The only difference is unlike your why, right? Your why, I actually had you, remember I said fill in the blanks about, like I want you to think about your why, like what is, and then keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper. Your I am is something that, boom, it's right there on the surface. It has been waiting for you to acknowledge it since the day you were born. But if you're able to right now, go grab a pen and paper and write this down. This is going to change everything for you and create your future self. The person that God created you to be, the woman God created you to be, the one you've been looking for underneath all that fat for years now. Okay, you ready? Okay, so your North Star, your I am, is going to guide, this is what you want to write down, every thought, decision, behavior, action, and person that you allow into your life. You are going to say the words as though you already are, as though it's already happened, like praying, believing, okay? Just saying the words rotely, just like a robot, right? I am an athlete. When women do that, I'm like, no, you're not. I don't believe you at all. You're full of shit, right? And then I want it to be like, I am an athlete. Like, feel it. Like, what is it going to feel like to be an athlete, to look like an athlete, if that's your I am? You're going to fill in your own I am, okay? I want you to really tap into what is that going to feel like when you realize that, when you become that I am. God rewards faith, right? It's throughout the whole Bible. Ask and you shall receive. Back there, that's no coincidence that I have this giant screen back there that says faith. Stand firm in your faith. Pray, believing. Ask and God will give it to you. I hear so many women say that they feel guilty for taking care of themselves or investing in themselves, whether that be with time or money that they're investing, it's real. Like the guilt is real. Can you relate to that? Have you ever felt guilty for maybe, I don't know, going to a spa and getting a massage, right? Or just taking 5 minutes to yourself? How many of you lock yourselves in the bathroom just so you can get a moment's peace? Right? But they're still knocking on the door. Mom, are you in there? Hey, honey, you in there? I know, right? I'm going to say this, and I want you to really hear what I say. Okay? I really want you to hear. Investing in yourself is the greatest gift you can give, not only to yourself, but to those around you. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? It is not selfish to take care of yourself. It is not selfish. Let's get that tape out of your head right here, right now. Women, we are the heart of the home. And the home, the heart, only beats as strong as we are. If we are feeling weak, if we are feeling tired and drained, it has a direct ripple effect into our family. Our families actually suffer, right, when we don't take care of ourselves, when our hearts aren't beating strong. That's why I work with women instead of men. I used to work with men, but I saw that the real change happens with the woman, the heart of the home. You help her, you help that family, you help that community. It just ripples out. It's crazy the way it happens, right? This is what you're going to do. Okay? Listen carefully. This is very important. You are going to focus on that one daily, what I call non-negotiable. It's this one thing that you are not doing every day that is sending you down the rabbit hole. That's why you're ending up drinking a bottle of wine, face down in a bowl of nachos, asking yourself, why can't I just stick to my healthy eating? And why am I so tired all the time? Why? Your body is the vehicle your soul is riding around in. Did you hear that? Okay, we only get one body. This is the vehicle that our soul is riding around in. Your non-negotiables are the wheels. Okay, think of the wheels on a car. When one tire goes flat, right, what happens? The other tires, they get a little wobbly. That's like you, right? You didn't do this one thing that you needed to do, one oxygen mask so that you could breathe. And suddenly you're feeling a little off. You're feeling a little wobbly. You're feeling a little shaky, right? And you're like, "Whoa, what's happening?" And then you start doing something else, right? And then it's that rabbit hole that you're going down. And before you know it, you get a blowout tire and you end up off the cliff. You're saying that's when you end up, drinking a bottle of wine, face down in a bowl of nachos, wondering what the hell just happened? What happened today? Does this sound familiar? Am I reaching anybody out there? Pay attention to the one seemingly very insignificant thing you do not do that starts making you feel a little wobbly, off balance, ultimately leading you to drive right off that cliff. If you're driving in your car and you make a wrong turn, do you say, "Oh, well, you know what, I already made a wrong turn. I'll just drive off the cliff and die"? I hope not. I hope nobody out there is doing that. If you are, please message me, okay? So, no, you would ask Siri for directions, right? You turn your little car around and you start going back in the right direction. Your Siri, in this case, is your main non-negotiable, your main oxygen mask that you know you need to do every day to show up optimally in your life and in others. No guilt. No feeling bad about putting on your oxygen mask first before you help others. You cannot help others if you can't breathe. What has happened is you have made losing weight your lifestyle. You've done it so many times now. It's the new normal. It has literally become your lifestyle, right? What are you doing today? Oh, well, today I'm going to eat what I want. But on Monday, I'm going to lose weight. Am I wrong? How many of you have done that? Raise your beautiful hands if you have done that. Shake your head. It's just like you've been on one long ass plane ride, right? That's frustrating, annoying, irritating, circular. You're just in the sky, right? Just flying with no destination. You're never landing. You're just in the air all the time. Shake your head if I'm right. When you get on a plane, do you settle in and say to yourself, wow, I really like this airplane? Unless it's like maybe a private jet or something. You're a rock star and you have your own private jet, maybe. But even then, like eventually you want to get to the island, right? You want to get to your destination. It's just like, that show, Fantasy Island. Remember that show, Fantasy Island? I feel like I'm the little guy saying, the plane, boss, the plane, right? We have to land the plane eventually. You cannot stay. Okay, that's not true. You can. I just said before that the C word is a bad word. You actually can stay in the plane forever if you want, the rest of your life. But I assume eventually you want to get to your exotic island destination where all of your dreams come true. Fantasy Island. Am I wrong? No, of course you don't want to stay in that plane forever, right? The plane ride, it might seem long, smelly, boring, noisy. There's kids in front of you kicking your seat. There's odd, unidentifiable smells in the air, right? There's weird food appearing on your plate, and you don't know what it is, or if you should even eat it, because it's all become like gelatinous, right? You can't tell what the hell it is. Maybe you had to work extra hours to get on this plane, to go on this trip. Sacrifice money, like sacrifice eating out because you were saving money to go on this destination trip. Maybe you had to arrange for childcare. Maybe you had to stand in line at security forever. You had to pee in that tiny little closet on the plane. And why did you put up with all of that while you were on that plane? Why would you go through all of that? Because it's worth it! It is worth it to land and get to your destination. I can't say this enough. You gotta land the plane, woman. You gotta land the plane. I'm waiting for you. The plane, boss. Creating you to be the woman God created you to be. Remember, God did not create us to be miserable. He created us to wake up and say, yes, I get to live another day. I get to share my gifts with the world today. I get to see my children and kiss my children and kiss my husband another day. I get to look in the mirror and say, I like that woman. That's what God created us. That's what you're celebrating. These 3 words are going to change your relationship, which is why I had you bring your guy into this session, so the guys can understand what we're talking about. These 3 words. My husband and I, we just kept fighting. We were like 2 pit bulls, right? We're just like going at each other's throats, causing chaos in the house. And it's usually over finances, right? And I would have like a trauma response, or I'd have like a panic response from past financial trauma that I've carried with me into the future, okay? And he would react, and he's a guy. He wants to fix it. He wants his woman to be happy. He wants her to feel fulfilled in life, and he tries to fix it, and it just made it worse. Or he gets defensive, right? He thinks that I'm attacking him. And so we would go at it like pit bulls. So I went to my new doctor, Dr. Bob Jans. I love Dr. Bob. If you're in Tennessee and Lebanon, not Lebanon, Lebanon, I found out you say it, go see Dr. Bob. He's amazing. He's not on social media though. Anyway, and I said to him, do I need counseling? Does my husband need counseling? Because I'm working through the grief of my mom's death, right? That's a loaded thing for a husband to have to deal with. How do you fit for a guy? You guys, you want to fix things. You want to solve the problem. How is my husband ever going to solve the problem of my mom's dying? Right? It's like I'm standing there naked in a blizzard and he's trying to put clothes on me, right? And it doesn't matter because I'm still naked in a blizzard without my mom. That's how it feels to me. And so Dr. Bob told me, tell your husband to say these 3 words when you come to him and you're in a state, right? Either I'm crying because I miss my mom, or I'm crying because I feel bad because my dad is driving cross country right now without my mom. Or I'm mad at my husband, right? Like, what is this? Like, what is this money now? Where'd this money go? Instead of trying to fix it, he said, tell Denny, that's my husband, to say these 3 magical words. Are you ready? Write this down. Both of you, write it down, especially you, man. You husband and boyfriend, write this down. It will save your marriage. It will save your relationship. And the 3 magic words are, ready for the drum roll? Come closer. Come closer. Guys, come here. Guys, come on. Guys, come closer. Ready? Tell me more. And you can't do a podcast called The Potty Mouth Preacher and not expect to get some pushback, right? Maybe especially from Christians. I am a Christian. And these Christians that want to pretend like they are holier than thou, right? They say things like, may God, the name of your podcast, Lisa, is... How could you say that? The Potty Mouth Preacher. That's how they talk. My pastor calls it Christianese, I think he says, right? The Christians, or just people in general who judge a book by its cover, or in my case, a podcast by its title. And what I want to say is that there are so many more words that curse your life, much worse than any curse word, right? The word fuck wasn't even in the Bible. That wasn't even around when Jesus was walking around on the earth. So keep that in your brain. But we're not talking about that word. Today we're going to go over the S word, the C word, and the T word, and another 2 very dangerous words that are going to curse your life if you say them. I hear it so many times. I'm going to start on Monday. I'm going to start after my knee surgery. I'm going to start after it's not so crazy at work. Enough with the craziness. We have to stop starting. And I'm going to tell you how to stop starting. It's so easy. The way you stop starting is a few things. One of the major things we're going to be talking about on the retreat are your non-negotiables. It's these things, it's usually one thing that you have to do. I already did an episode on this. Go back and listen to it. I don't even know what episode it is. And I'm going to refresh your memory. Your non-negotiables are like the wheels of a car. And they're things that you know you need to do every day so that you show up optimally in your life. And they're little things. They're not these huge things that you think that they are, right? And when you start, it's one main non-negotiable. And when you stop doing that, the rest of the wheels start getting wobbly, right? Before you know it, you're off the cliff and you're saying, what happened? I started again and now I stopped. Weight loss, forget about weight loss. You are never going to lose weight again. What? She's smoking crack again? You are never going to lose weight again, because losing implies that it's valuable. You think that 80 pounds that I lost was valuable to me? No. You think I ever want to find it again? No. So you shed weight. You are no longer losing weight. Rejection is God's way of protecting you. God is always working mysteriously behind the scenes, right? And we don't even know it, right? We're making plans, going about our life, and he's just kind of laughing. He's like, okay, yeah, that's not going to be a good idea, but okay, you can see how that works out for you. So you're going to glance in the rear view mirror to look back to see how many times, right, were you rejected and you were protected? And how many times now do you see that rejection that you're now at peace with, that you don't even see it as rejection, is actually God saying, look how far you've come, right? You're healed. You no longer have an emotion attached to it. You know you're healed when you no longer have an emotion attached to a memory or an experience that's either happening now in the moment or that has happened in the past. I say welcome triggers. Triggers are gifts, not wrapped up in pretty packages with a giant bow on top kind of gifts, but gifts because they're clues to where you still need healing. I want you to welcome triggers, right? Not be afraid of triggers anymore. Say, okay, if you're prone to panic attacks, all right, bring it on, bitches. I'm ready for a panic attack. And whatever that trigger is for you, welcome it as a chance to practice healing. Practice where you feel it in your body and allow yourself to really experience it. Because the only way to heal it is to feel it. You might even feel like, I'm losing it. I am losing my mind. What is wrong with me? Why am I reacting like this? Why am I saying these things? Why am I doing these things? And that abuser, that master manipulator, wants to get you to react so that the spotlight now becomes on your reaction to their abuse instead of the spotlight being on their abusive behavior. So remember, God does not want you to sin in your anger. God doesn't want you to respond in a way that's going to make you feel bad. Right? It's much easier for someone to drag you down than for you to rise them up, right? So you're not going to stoop to their level. I would talk a lot when I was a PA president about how high frequency, keep your frequency high. Like, don't lower your frequency for anybody, right? What I mean by that is just this, what I'm saying, right? Biblically speaking, don't sin in your anger, because you'll end up looking like the crazy person. Do whatever you have to do to keep yourself safe. Block that person. Don't respond at all, like nothing. Walk away if you have to, until you can get yourself to a place of neutral so that you don't emotionally react, so that you don't look like the crazy one and take the spotlight off the abuse that's actually happening to you. Now listen to me. Come closer. If you don't hear anything else, in order to protect your daughters, I want you to hear this. I don't want the first time your daughter hears, "You're so beautiful," to be from a sexual predator, a sex trafficker. And I don't want that to happen to you. Maybe you're unhappy in your marriage. Maybe you're unhappy in your relationship and you're thinking the grass is greener on the other side. I'm going to take my rockin' body and go elsewhere, right? Or maybe you are in an abusive marriage. Maybe you're in a toxic, destructive marriage. Maybe your husband isn't meeting your needs the way you want to. Fill in the blank, right? These are all things that can lead to you being sexually exploited. Same thing is true for your daughters, right? For our daughters. Maybe they have rockin' bodies, right? Maybe they have rockin' bodies with low self-esteem. That's a recipe for disaster. A rockin' body and low self-esteem is going to land you where it landed me and where it landed Saul. So we have to be careful of that, right? Most of the women that come to me have extra fluff on their bodies. However, lately, it's not a coincidence that I'm getting all these new clients in that have perfect bodies and are in narcissistic relationships, had narcissistic relationships, left their husband for a narcissist, fill in the blank, ended up being sexually exploited. I just got done actually healing a woman who was just rescued from sex trafficking and didn't even know that she was being sex trafficked. You don't know it when you're in it. I didn't know I was being sexually exploited. I didn't know I was being sex trafficked. I didn't know I was being abused. I had no idea. And that is the common thread that I see, right? You won't know it when you're in it. So she said, she was laying there in bed and suddenly Jesus appeared. And I said, "How'd you know it was Jesus?" And she said, this is interesting, because I said, "What did he look like?" Right? I'm immediately asking all these questions, interrupting her. What did Jesus look like? Did he have the robe, and did he have brown hair and brown eyes and like a beard? Like, how'd you know it was Jesus? And she said, "Because of the peace and love I felt in his presence." People need to know. That's why Jesus came to her. And that's why I am sharing this story with you today, finally, 2 years later. People need to know. You need to know. Jesus is real. Peace is inevitable. And you are worth it.